Road trip just begun, and the San Antonio Spurs now 22 games over 500, sitting in second place out west. What a way to end the first half of the season, headed into the All-Star break. You see those standings still chasing the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder, 3.5 games behind them. But you see create some space ahead of the Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Los Angeles Lakers, who the Spurs also defeated last night. So back-to-back wins on the road to start this rodeo road trip before NBA All-Star Weekend. Jacob, Sean, you couldn't make it any better if you're the San Antonio Spurs as you head into All-Star Weekend.
Well, I said to you, this game was trending towards the Oklahoma City game where they play with their food a little bit against a team that was down a lot of their main guys, and ended up being more of the game last night where they finished the job when they had to.
Yeah, and so it's nice to see. It's nice to know that our guys have that switch that they can flip at the last second and they can start to play good basketball. You don't always want to have to rely on that, though. You want our guys to play well for 48 minutes. But like I said, I mean, you know, this has been a grueling season so far, travel-wise. And so, you know, I tried to cut our guys a little bit of slack there in the first half. They didn't look like themselves. They were a little sleepy, a little behind the 8 ball a little bit. But they figured it out there in the middle of the third quarter. Keldon was amazing. Dylan Harper made some big plays. And then everybody got a little, you know, injection of energy, a little bit more juice on both ends of the court, and you see the results.
You mentioned Keldon, one of 3 20-point scorers in this game, kind of a three-headed monster, but Keldon really started it in that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Keldon was terrific. De'Aaron Fox, I mean, look at all this space here. Had time to line that one up. This was late in the game, basically sealing the deal, that dunk in the open court. They got Victor involved. Victor with 26 big ones, a couple big blocks as well. This is a tough 3-ball there. He gets the ball. That's when our guys started to really create a lot more breathing room. Keldon Johnson, late in the game, a little drive along the baseline. This was earlier where he just bullied Santos underneath, and he said, something's on my arm. I was a defender.
31st 20-point game off the bench for Keldon Johnson in a Spurs uniform, 4 behind Patty Mills at 35. So I said this going to the break. Spurs get their 38th win. They're 38-16. They've won 70% of their games to this point this season. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, the scary part is it could be better. It could be a lot better. And so our guys have figured it out. These are 2 games that you needed going into the break. They're kind of trap games. You had a lot of the stars sitting out. A lot of guys are looking forward to that 5-6 days or so of vacation where you don't have practice, you don't have to report to anything. You can actually go out of town and find a nice beach to sit on. And so these games are, they can become tricky sometimes. You see a lot of teams lose focus and end up losing these type of games, and especially the way the Warriors were playing here at home. This was a trap game that our guys found a way out of.
Enjoy your All-Star break. Come back,
you know,
in one piece, please.
Of course. Yeah, you're the guy. I mean, I got to worry about you, you young fella. I'm just an old dude. I'm going to sit up and listen to some music and kick my feet up, find a nice dinner. You're going to be running the streets.
Spurs will be well represented at NBA All-Star Weekend. Carter Bryant will be in the slam dunk contest. Of course, Victor Wembanyama named an All-Star for the 2nd time in his career. Dylan Harper in the Rising Stars game. And of course, Mitch Johnson will be coach at the NBA All-Star Weekend. So let's hear from Coach Mitch Johnson at the podium.
Mitch, what do you think turned it in the third, and was it a coincidence that Keldon Johnson was in the middle of it all?
I thought we did a really poor job in the first half of kind of having discipline pressure. They're doing such a great job right now of moving the basketball side to side and playing with pace. And if they get you chasing the basketball, they're just so connected on the next thing. Back cuts, coming off the screen, curl, slip, and you get to react to everything, and it can be really, really hard to guard. And I thought in the third quarter we did a much better job of giving resistance, but also staying connected to bodies, whether that was on the basketball or off the basketball. And then we cleaned up some of the rebounding, and that allowed us to play out of our defense.
What did you think of the night that De'Aaron had, and sort of the lift he kept giving you at certain times offensively when things were dry?
It's been really fun to see his growth in his leadership and him using his voice. He had a couple timeouts tonight that he took over and gave some direction with conviction, and he's that level of player that he puts the voice with the game. Guys will listen and they'll follow that. And I thought he was exceptional tonight in terms of just not forcing anything, but then also controlling the game all at the same time.
How did you think Steph looked, coming off that injury or whatever he had yesterday? How do you think he was moving and things like that?
Not good.
Yeah,
I thought he is stubborn, and most guys probably wouldn't have played tonight. And as we've seen before, that's why we love his fearlessness and relentlessness, because he doesn't care. And he didn't move well, and you could see it in his game. And then he goes and he has a monster offensive rebound tip-in at the end of the game, and that's why you let him do what he does. And earlier, same thing with Keldon. They impose their will in the game. A lot of guys wouldn't be playing in some of these games that Keldon played.
But this team is super talented, and they're gonna be tough to knock out 4 times.
Yeah, I agree with what Chandler said. Like, they've been bit by the injury bug, but yet and still they put themselves in a position to get better and better. I just said it. I thought they were in 4th place. They've slid down to 3. So even still, with guys going in and out of the lineup, you still have your consistency in Durant and Sengun, and they've been leading these guys to the promised land. So I like where they are. If I had to grade them right now, we're at a B-, B+.
Okay.
Because we wasn't sure what KD was going to bring to the table coming into this season with pairing him with Sengun. We were excited about it, but we didn't know how it was going to pan out. And look at those guys now. They're in a position to be in home court to start the playoffs if this continues to last at the pace that they're playing. And they're playing well, and they're represented at All-Star Weekend. So it works out.
We did all see his commercial thing for
Love it.
lotion.
I love it.
KD's, oh my God, it's amazing.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
He's a lotion commercial?
Oh, but it's the way they did it. It's
What's
yeah.
like tissue?
It's like
Is it tissues next to the bed?
He's like
Lotion
moisturizing his legs are all moisturized. It is something else. It's a piece of art, is what it
You
is.
get a moisturizer. What kind of moisturizer are you using on your
Yeah,
face?
talk to us, buddy.
Hot water.
That is great skin.
Hot water, my friend.
That is great
Do
skin.
you hear that, America? Stop
Hot water,
spending
my
millions on
friends.
products. Water is how Lou has that
Eesh.
skin.
By the way, I give
Never
them a B
hated
as
it.
well, but I think the future of the Rockets is an A. Like, I think they are set up
That's what
now
I-
to win.
that's what I think.
They are now a contender, and also their future is very bright with all the assets and the talent this team has. They have an unreal coach. They have depth. Great city, great fan base. Like, this team is not going anywhere soon. So if they're a B-, B+ now,
Like, can you imagine Van Fleet with these guys?
It's gonna be something. On the Clippers side of things, obviously they traded away James Harden. Lawrence Frank said the Clippers are trying to win now, despite what people might be talking about. For that, we go to Boogie Cousins, who is standing. Just can you imagine?
I was like, no way. That would have been.
I'm just kidding. Do you buy, Lou, that they can win enough to do whatever, make the playoffs, I suppose?
Where are they? Is that what?
Yeah,
Is that their logo on 10?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, that weird thing that looks like a bull.
It's a ship. The Clippers.
It looks like a bull.
It looks like a Chicago.
Yeah.
It looks like a Chicago Bulls.
I think so. They did